Representative Christensen, there's been a slowdown of Western ports these last few months due to a labor dispute between the International Longshore and Warehouse Union and the Pacific Maritime Association. The two sides have been trying to renegotiate a labor contract. Can you tell us a little bit about what this has meant for working families, businesses, and our economy here in the state?
Absolutely, it's a great question. I think it's something that we really need to take seriously. First of all, this has been going on for months, which is unprecedented. In history, going back to, I think it was about 2002, this strike only went on for a few weeks. And at the time, President Bush actually had to invoke some powers he was given by the federal government to be able to solve the problem. But what does it mean to the citizens of Washington state? First of all, this is talking about a loss of jobs, loss of income for families. We've got businesses taking financial hits. Examples of that would be this. We've got, especially in the agriculture market right now, we've got thousands of people that are being laid off. We've got food by the tons that's rotting, hundreds of tons that are rotting because they can't actually get on these ships to go out there. We've got products that we need to come in from other countries to be able to build things. I met with folks from the Boeing company. We've got fuselages actually for our 777 airliners that come in on these ships, and we can't even get the fuselages here. What happens when we run out of fuselages for commercial aircraft? We're talking about thousands of more jobs there. And while we're only talking about 500 or so longshoreman jobs that are affected directly by this in Washington state between our ports, we're talking about tens of thousands and even hundreds of thousands of other types of jobs and employees around the state that are directly affected by the import-export market in Washington state.
So what can be done at the state level?
Well, frankly, at the state level, there's not much that can be done at the stage we're at now. What we have done here is I've worked with my colleagues in the Senate and the House, Democrats and Republicans. We put together a letter to the President and to those that are involved in making these negotiations. And we're hopeful that with pressure and helping them to understand the larger economic impact that it's having here in Washington state, that they're going to be hopefully pressed to get this thing put behind us so that we can get things going again.
So this is more of a federal issue?
At this stage of the game, it absolutely is. The other thing, too, is we're talking about ports that are up and down the West Coast. There's just shy of 30 ports that are affected by this up and down the West Coast between Washington, Oregon, and California. But the long-term ramifications of this are something that you really need to be concerned about because there's billions of dollars in revenue that go through our ports. And over the course of the next several months, since we're not going to be having those dollars going through our ports, the tax revenue that we are down here trying to decide how we're going to spend money on things like education, health and human services, public safety, and all those things that are important to us, even transportation, if we can't count on the fact that we're going to have those tax dollars running through here over the course of the next several months, we're going to see potentially a very large hole in our budget that's going to be money that we thought we were going to have, and we're not going to have it. So it's going to affect us dramatically.